Den of Iniquity is Beaumont number 26. But it's a story that was fun to write. Beau is a retired cop, but when he's asked to help someone, he helps. And in this case, he is asked to help a grandmother whose grandson, Darius, died of a fentanyl overdose. His death was never investigated. It was declared an accidental overdose. And she says, no, 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 that's not true. He was off drugs. He was clean and sober. And something happened to him. And that's how Beau gets pulled into this case. Because it turns out there are a lot of cases that had been just dismissed as accidental overdoses, which indeed were not. So that's the mystery part of the story. But the other part about that book that was so much fun for me is Beau and I have been together as author and character for 41 years now. That's a long time. And he and I have sort of aged together. We're both getting very long of tooth. But when I met him, he was a hard-drinking, middle-aged, divorced homicide cop living in downtown Seattle, mostly estranged from his family. And over time, he's gotten sober. He's remarried for the third time, and his wife is the chief of police in Bellingham, Washington. So in the last couple of books, Beau, for the first time in his life, has suddenly become a dog owner. He never had a dog. He lived in an apartment. They weren't allowed to have dogs. So now that he has a dog, his second dog, an Irish Wolfhound named Sarah, he's suddenly walking. Formerly, his major form of exercise was jumping to conclusions. But he is out on a walk with his dog on Valentine's Day. And he comes back, and there's a strange car in his yard. And he's, who can this be? Well, as he walks up to it, the door opens, and this very long drink of water kid steps out of the car, and it's his grandson, Kyle, 18 years old. It turns out that there is trouble in Ashland. Kyle's parents are getting a divorce, and his father has moved his pregnant girlfriend into the house, and Kyle has run away and wants to come to Bellingham and finish his senior year with Grandpa and Grandma. Hello. So part of this book was watching those three people, Mel and Beau and Kyle, navigate the generation chasm, not a generation gap, the chasm between 70-somethings and an 18-year-old teenager. And at one point, Kyle says to Beau, would you like to see The Martian? They're going to watch a movie. Do you want to see The Martian? And Beau has this mental picture that they're going to be watching a Disney flick with little green Martian men running around, which of course that movie isn't at all. It's a really gripping drama about an abandoned astronaut trying to survive on Mars long enough to be rescued. And Beau is really pleasantly surprised. Well, another running joke in this story is the fact that kids that age have never encountered a stick shift. And so when Beau's neighbor is rehabbing his 1966 Shelby, Kyle is all excited about that. And Bo looks at him and says, that happened when I was in high school. How do you even know about Shelby's? And Kyle says, haven't you ever seen Ford versus Ferrari? So that's another movie they watched together. And so those parts of the story were really fun to write. But there's someone pointed out to me recently that in all of my books, there's usually some point of reconciliation between the characters. And I never noticed that before, but it's true. And you'll find that in Den of Iniquity as well.